Welcome back to the Mastering Runeterra podcast with Jay and Bae, the number one source for competitive Legends of Runeterra news and information. If you're looking for the best decks to play right now, be sure to check us out on Twitter at Master Runeterra or in our Discord. And if you want to take the next step in leveling up your game, check out our Runeterra team on Patreon, where we do weekly learning calls and one-on-one coaching. Now strap in and grab yourself some Poro snacks, because we are about to start Mastering Runeterra.
Welcome back to the Mastering Runeterra podcast with Jay and Bae. We got a great show for you today. Well, I mean, we have a show for you today.
It's a show.
Apologies that it's late. We had some scheduling conflicts. Mostly I messed it up. But sorry about that. Here we are now, a couple days later. And we're going to talk about some rotation, because we had the big Q&A with the head of LR, Dave Tron, who I always call Dave Bow. Dave Tron, though, not Dave Bow, our community member that we love. And before we jump into it, should remind everyone, we have a $1,000 tournament coming up on October the 1st. Going to be cast by the two of us. We'll have a bunch of giveaways. All you have to do is be subscribed to the website, and we'll be sending the link out to everyone later. And also you can now sign up at masterruneterra.com for a free account, and you can link your Riot account, and it'll give you all of your matches and all of your win percentages for your top 4 decks. Most winning decks anyway. Very helpful for when you're trying to figure out what to climb the ladder with. And speaking of the Q&A, the first thing that we want to talk about was rotation, which is one of the big announcements that came. It's like kind of maybe the only big announcement that really didn't know about, that came out of the roadmap.
Yeah, that's a pretty big one.
It's a really big one. Technically, we did know that was coming, or they did say way early on that they were targeting 2023 for that, but this is 2 years ago or something. Who knows? So, and there's been a lot of discourse about it. People are having all kinds of different thoughts about it, and it's interesting to me, coming from being a Magic player, where this is just something that's existed.
It's just standard.
It's forever.
Just normal. Yeah.
It's just, the game's 30 years old now, and that's just something that you've had to do. And it's so much now that there's there's a format for all 30 years of cards, and there's a format that's all 30 years of cards but has a bunch of bans or restrictions where you can only play one of instead of a 4 of, or none of. And then there's a format that you can only play the last 12 years of cards, and then the last 6 years of cards. Then standard is the last 2 years of cards. And because they keep adding more cards, you keep having to figure things out to get people to still play with these cards and stuff. And the older formats tend to be the more popular ones. They end up kind of settling out. There's just a lot. There ends up being a lot of archetypes that are very good, and they're very skill intensive. So to me, this is a fantastic thing that's happening, because we also missed more ways to play Runeterra. Look when we had Kai'Sa first come out, and the meta was just miserable, because we only have best of one, and we only have this one format, and that's it. And so if you have a deck like Kai'Sa that just ruins it, you're just stuck there for a month. Just everyone felt it. The numbers on socials were down. The numbers on play rate were down. People in Masters were down. And if you have another format, be it eternal format with all the cards, or a limited format, which is also coming next year, constructed, or a competitive limited format, and now you just go play something else. You just go do a different thing, and it alleviates a lot of that. And it also just gives something for everyone. Now there's just different ways to play stuff. But there are some, people are concerned about not playing the champions that they that are getting rotated out and stuff. So, Bae, I'm curious what are some of your thoughts on rotation?
So I played Magic 2. Rotation's a pretty standard part of card games for me. But when I first heard, because we first heard there will be rotation, but nothing else. And I said something along the lines of, I would really like to see, I think it's really unfeasible, but I would really like to see not a normal rotation just based on like time in the game. I would like to see a curated rotation where it's like we're going to rotate out these cards, these champions. They've been a little too heavy in the meta. They've been like keeping some things down. You know, you kind of have to go into this if you're playing this kind of style. We want to freshen things up, open up some new avenues of play. And I was like, I think that's really unlikely, but that would be my preferred way to do rotation. And then like the next week or a couple days after or something, they came out and said, okay, so what we're going to do is a curated rotation list where we're going to rotate out like champions and their like followers and spells and stuff. And I was like, oh, sick. So yeah, I think it'd be good. I imagine that the rotation format will be the main way to play the game competitively. I feel like that tends to be the case where it like if there is a rotation, that is the primary format. Then you can always play it kind of like Hearthstone. Hearthstone had like whatever it's called and then Wild. And I think like the one with the rotation is the main one, right? So we'll likely see that in Runeterra as well. Oh no, I'm excited about it. I think like having more ways to play the game is always good. It opens up new stuff for content wise, right? New tournaments and I want like we need that. Runeterra is like a one-trick pony right now that does one thing like pretty well though. You know, if you're not into PvE, then like there's nothing else in the game for you. You just play this one mode and it's best of one and that's it. Gauntlet's a joke, right? And there's like no other option. And so just having something else like this, and then if we can get a limited format in the future, that'll feel a lot better.
Yeah, a competitive limited format and then 2 construction formats is like what a game changer. It's like totally different than what we have right now. You know, you can have a limited ladder. You can have, you know, you could have like, you know, 2 different formats that you could maybe play on one constructed ladder. So yeah, just having more things for people to do is like, I can't even explain how different this is going to be. And so, yeah, so some of the things people brought up are like, you know, not being able to play with their champions when they get rotated out. But like you could still play with them in the Eternal format. And like one thing I think maybe people didn't understand is that as far as I understand, if it works like in Magic, all cards that get printed are available in the Eternal format. So like if something new comes in, like you still get it in the Eternal format. It's all cards. And then the rotated format is like just the newer cards that they leave still for you to play with. So like you're not missing out on anything really. The big question mark will be how much they support the Eternal format.
Like how much they balance around that.
Yeah, and like does seasonals, do we have a ladder? Does it feed into the ladder will seasonals ever be that format? Will they switch it around like Magic does? Because I don't know if they will, right? If we're still only having a seasonals every 2 months, you kind of want to. Well, you know what's really interesting in Magic? They need to be pushing the new cards because they got to sell packs.
Because you have to sell it. You don't have to do that here. Yeah,
they got to sell it. That's how they make their money. You got to be pushing those new cards. But yeah, you don't have to do that in LOR. So like if you print some new cards, and then like I don't know what you just, you know, you can still play with them in the Eternal format. But if they happen to not be, I don't know, powerful enough in that format or something, even though they tend to be, it's the whole reason you have rotation.
Except for these new champions. This sets champions bit of a swing and a miss.
Yeah. I mean, after Kai'Sa, though, I'm like kind of good with it. Like,
fine.
You know what? It's okay.
Fine.
Yeah. What do you, looking back, I'm getting a little off topic here, but looking back, do you think Kai'Sa warranted a hotfix?
Oh, yeah.
I gotta say.
Kai'Sa was one of the worst, like,
it was probably the worst meta ever. Like
Azir was pretty miserable.
Azir was also quite bad.
It was bad.
At least, yeah.
It lasted really long though. That was the worst part of Azir. It was like months, right? That sucked. Kai'Sa meta might have been the worst meta we've ever had though.
Thresh and Astis at first beat the deck. Like how to was like good against it. It was good. And then people figured out how to play against it, and it stopped doing that.
And then like Defiant Dance came out. Yeah, gross. So
okay.
I think Kai'Sa may have been the worst meta we've ever had, but Azir lasted for so much longer that it was just like, and I absolutely hate playing against both of them, but I would have rather played against Kaisa. Like
Yeah,
Zero.
okay, so whatever. If it's not the worst, we'll say top 3.
It's up there. Yeah, top 3 for sure.
And I feel like it didn't ruin. Yeah. Anyways, the Zerorelia, like at least there was. It was bad. It was basically a Zerorelia, Drushnasis, and then eventually it was just a Zerorelia. Really that you could play on the ladder. But yeah, Kaisa was bad. And so like if they don't want to hotfix stuff, like it doesn't get much worse than that. That was really, really bad. Like really, really freaking bad. And so yeah, this gives you an outlet now. You know, if something like that happens again, which it will, because either you print champs like we just got, and they just like don't do much, which is also kind of lame. You know, kind of sucks. Because then what happens is we're playing the same decks, which is like new spells and a couple new units.
To us competitors is usually like that's enough. Like that's good for me. I like that.
It's fine.
It makes my YouTube videos not do very good, let me tell you what. When it's just like, what do you mean it's just Nami Twisted Fate again? And you'd be like, yeah, but this one's different. And they're like, I've seen Nami Twisted Fate already. Like, where are the new champions? Like, my videos, I think right now are like 15,000, 15,000. Nora Heimer's at like 33,000. And then it's like 15,000, 15,000. Because it's all just like, the only one with the new champion is like the Nora Heimer video. Because the other new champions suck so much. They're so bad.
Which I mean, I can't complain. Like the meta's no,
I like the
good.
Meta. Yeah,
there's a lot of so many decks you can play right now. Again, though, best of 3 would help with this. I feel like God, do I want some best of 3 so bad? Like best of 3 would just make the ladder so much more palatable. I don't know. This is okay. We're getting way off topic now. I want to come back around to ladder climbing now. But yeah, rotation, it's just so good for the game. I've heard some really weird takes from people. A lot of people are against this, and I get it. Like if you've never played a game where this was a thing and it came in, it would feel very strange and foreign. But let me tell you, this is going to be the best thing that has happened to the game since Targon came out. For us anyway. It's like this is a game changer, and this is what LOR needs. It needs more formats. It needs a competitive limited format. It needs like best of 3. It needs more tournaments, a way to run tournaments. Because like onto my next point, ladder fucking sucks. Ladder is, and this is the thing. I know you love ladder, and I love playing the game, which is technically ladder, right? But when I'm trying to get to a 7-2 tiebreaker, it's work. Because now I can only play a select amount of decks that are a certain amount of good. And you have to grind. You just have to grind so many hours. And I don't want to play that much when I don't have to, but I feel like I have to be competitive. Like that's just, and then I just get burnt out. Let's get burnt out of the game. I don't really want to play anymore. And that's not what I want. I just want to be able to play like as much as I sort of want to. AKA like I want to be able to play tournaments. Also, if I was playing best of 3, at least then I feel like I'm getting good practice in for seasonals. So it doesn't feel like wasted work. That's what I mean. When I say it's work, I mean it's like busy work. It's like work that doesn't fucking do much of anything for me. It's like a little bit, but like, you're getting paid like a penny an hour kind of thing. Whereas if it's best of 3, you're getting really good testing in, and now you're getting paid like $5 an hour or something. And you're like, okay, cool. Like this isn't like a total waste of time. I feel like I'm preparing for seasonals now, and this was worth the time and energy that I put in. So yeah, I don't know. That's my shtick.
I feel you.
I feel ladder that I put on for forever.
I enjoy ladder, but only when like ladder's good and decks I enjoy are good. Which right now decks I enjoy are good. The part that I've been enjoying is like for me, this season's really important. Like where I finish on ladder is like really important for me, right? Not just for seasonals cut, but like also for worlds. And that's a big one. And so it's like each game does matter. And I let myself get really frustrated a couple days, like last week, because I was trying to get content that people wanted to see. So I was like trying to showcase new decks and like all this kind of stuff. And I was doing it on my main account, and I was just like, losing, and I would just get so frustrated because like, yeah, you know, I could take any deck and get a 50% win rate with it in Masters, like anything,
Literally
but
a ham sandwich.
like a
And then
hand sand,
nothing.
yeah, a used napkin. But the problem is like you're just plummeting with a 50% win rate in Masters, right? If I start at 400 LP and I have a 50% win rate in Masters, I am losing like probably 100 LP every other hour. Like
You
you
get zero real fast.
drop like a rock. Yeah, it's insane. So I was just getting really frustrated. So I just did like a try hard video, which I enjoy making. I really like making those. And then I'm gonna do more casual, fun stuff on the Smurf. It's just tough because like I want to be playing on my main account because I want to be grinding for that LP. Right, this is the games that matter. So this is what I want to be doing. And then I also need to make content, so I want to do them at the same time. But you can't do that because then you lose and you get sad and frustrated. So yeah, I'm just forcing myself to play Smurf for YouTube unless it's like a try hard video.
Yeah, speaking of worlds, they finally updated us on the point standings, which, by the
Yes,
way,
they
your
did.
boy is technically in 6th after they remove the people that are top 4 and already qualified from the standings, which they didn't do after posting them incorrectly a few times. Which, by the way,
Come on.
I'm not gonna harp on this too much, but like, get your shit together. And then also, we don't know. We know Worlds is going to be in November. We don't know when. So some of us whose names rhyme with Ba, Fin, Bay,
Nice. Could be anyone.
have to go to Worlds for Flesh and Blood. I would also like to go have some fun, and that's at the beginning of November. And so we don't know. Should I book my ticket? Should I not? Prices are going up. And
I would
like,
love to know this. Yeah.
I'm just getting screwed. It's only like you guys have only announced Worlds like in February or something. It's now halfway through September. And you know, this one I can at least forgive like a little bit because like I understand there is, you know, League Worlds and Valorant Worlds and all this other stuff to schedule around. At this point, though, like they have to know.
Yeah.
At this point, though, they have to know, and I think they're just not telling us. And I don't know why they just like slow roll this shit for no reason.
Yeah.
It's really weird.
I
Same
mean,
with casting and stuff.
better than last time when they changed the date.
Well, hold on, it's not done yet.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. Nothing like a nice late release on the date and then changing it as well.
And then the other thing is, we all have put in a lot of work to try and qualify for Worlds and are continuing to do so. We're almost there. We will know who's qualified for Worlds in about 2.5 weeks or something, 3 weeks. And I would like to know, what have I qualified for?
Yeah, what's like the prize pool and everything? I have to assume it's very close to a carbon copy of last year's. That's just kind of what I'm going off in my head.
Why the fuck is it not announced, though? It's also a good marketing tool. I don't know if anyone had maybe thought of that ever. I'm like, hey, you want to win
money,
$50,000 fucking for first place or whatever? Yeah, it's so. And I guess this is just, I assume this is just corporate shit going on. I assume, but like the communications and everything have been so bad that like, I honestly don't know. I don't know, but it is a massive corporation. You know, this stuff's hard to get done, but like, come on, like what is this? It's weird. It's really strange. And I mean, like, even if they did announce it, though, I assume it's the same. I assume it's probably going to be the exact same. It's probably going to be the exact same prize pool. But like Magic the Gathering made some big announcements of what their prize pool is going to be, and we all qualified for these tournaments. And then they were like, "Just kidding, yunk!" And then just took like, I don't know, $2 million or something out of the prize pool.
$2.5 million.
I
stopped playing Magic the Gathering right after that because of
Me
that.
too.
That was the event, and I was like, "Fuck you, I'm out of here."
Yeah, and I don't know how you feel, but I feel like if we were still playing Magic, killing that, making content for Magic, crushing it, killing it, we'd, Magic would be that much more awesome. But
I don't know if I would have ever made content.
I knew that was what you were going to say. Yeah.
It was kind of like
Theoretically,
I fell into this at all.
Theoretically, you would want a big tournament, and your friends still convince
Still
you to
push
start
me to
streaming.
stream. Sure, yeah.
Yeah. And then I could have been the one that was like, "Sup, bitch? 2 GP wins. What up? I'll show you how it's done." But now I have to be like, "Bae, how does Ionia work?"
How does someone tell me how you win with this deck?
Speaking of which, I felt really good beating you and Ionia Mirror the other day on the ladder. That was nice.
It's on the YouTube video.
Boom! Left it
Last
in.
game. Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
You're my only loss.
Bam. Take it. I feel like Lee Sin was definitely
Lee
nice
is
mirror.
very important in the Ionia Nami mirror. I just hate playing him because Twisted Fate is so important against Pirates.
That makes sense.
So I'm thinking that I'm going to go for 3 Twisted Fate and then remove Heavy Metal and cut 1 more card and try to play 2 copies of Sonic Wave.
Wait, what?
Go full Twisted Fate, no Lee Sins.
Okay.
Find room for 2 copies of Sonic
Yeah.
Wave because it's all. You also want Lee against Kindred Nasus because an unchecked Kindred just wins, right?
Really annoying, yeah. Really tough to deal with. But yeah, let's talk about the meta. Let's talk about the meta a little bit.
Sure.
Nothing is really like. Do you think anything is like? What's tier 1 in your eyes? Are a lot of things tier 1? Is there a few things? Is anything like kind of head and shoulders
Pirates
above?
or tier 1?
Yeah. Okay. So let's start with Pirates. So I played a lot of Pirates. I played some Pirates this season. It's good, but like it does not feel nearly as good as it did last season. Last season, it was like. It was like borderline unbeatable.
Shadow Isles is back.
Is that why?
That's the difference. Yeah, Shadow Isles is back in a big way. So like the Nami variants are like really, really strong, right? So I would put Pirates as like, I think Pirates is probably the best deck in a vacuum that we have in the meta right now.
Yeah.
Right. And then you have to go from there, right? So like, the Shadow Isles Nami, I think Nami is like really, really good. And part of what makes Nami so good is the flexibility. And so like Shadow Isles Nami like dumpsters Pirates. It's like such a good matchup. You have Double Trouble, you have Vile Fees, you got Go Hard, right? Like you have Vengeance. Riptide Sermon is the best card against Riptide Sermon decks because it's just the best card in the game right now. Like that deck's really, really good into Pirates. Ionia is less good into Pirates. Can still beat it. Still probably like 50-50. But like you do lose. But the Ionia version is better into decks where Deny is really good. Right? Or decks where like if you can get a Twisted Fate, if they have damage based removal, then Ionia is usually better. Because like you just play stuff and they just never die. Right? Like, oh yeah, sick thermogenic beam. There's like Wuju style or whatever. My Nami lives.
Sure.
Right. And then you have like Deny on top. You have a little bit more card draw. You have the 1 mana Vestian Disciple, which I think is like an incredible card still. So like you have these flavors of Nami and they're both very, very strong. I think it's mostly preference. Like if someone came up to me, I wrote this in the article that I posted. Check it out, MasterRuneterra.com. About all the different flavors of Nami. And I was like, if you're coming in and you want to learn a Nami deck, which you should if you're planning on playing seasonals, like I heavily recommend you have one of those in your bag. If you're just coming in and you want to pick one, I would say like de facto is probably just Shadow Isles. I think that's like
it makes the most sense. It's like it feels like it killed the thing, play the thing, pump the thing.
Works. Ionia Nami, you have to like make slightly weird plays because it makes your mana work out better for later turns. And if you're not used to that kind of play style, it's very awkward. It can be very clunky and you need to be able to like play around that. Because you don't have these like
you do nothing a lot of the time and you have to be okay with that.
Yes, that is correct. You do a lot of nothing. Now Shadow Isles gets to be a lot more proactive, right? Because like the difference is that Ionia's spells are all reactive. Every single one of them, except Double Trouble. Shadow Isles spells are all proactive, right? Even like Vengeance. Like you can just cast Vengeance. You don't but you don't want to just like cast Wuju style, right?
Yeah.
Like an Ionia. You don't want to just cast Momentous Choice to like pump up your guy's health for no reason. or palm or deny or whatever, right? Like it doesn't really work like that. So Shadow Isles gets to like more proactively work towards their burble fish and things like that. And yeah, it just feels more natural. The Ionia variant is more. I mean, they're both my style, but like I like Ionia stuff, right? Surprise. So I enjoy that one. There's also the PNZ one, which I was like, it's like don't
Is it
touch
good?
unless you're willing to. It is good, but like you got to put in some time, like a lot. That deck is hard, and it's punishing in a way that the others like aren't. If you kind of make a
Yeah.
slip up with one of the others, it's like okay, that's fine, whatever.
You still just
I lost a
pull
point
them out
here.
at some point.
Took an extra
Yeah.
damage, but if you make like a slight slip up on your mana with like the PNZ one, you can just lose the game. Your deck just does nothing and you die. So
What are the advantages of the PNZ one? Do you feel like if you played them all super optimally, does that put the PNZ one like above or something?
it might be the best one if played optimally. It is well, okay, that might not be true, and the reason it might not be true is because it's the most polarized, in my opinion. So like I don't want to play against pirates ever with that deck. Like aggro decks, you just can't handle. But if you played it optimally against lineups where the decks are slower, I think PNZ is probably the best one because you just like
So if you like, what about like if you go best of 3 and you could ban something? Does that maybe put it like a
it
little bit
boosts
higher?
it up. In my opinion, it boosts it
Yeah.
up. Yeah. Now if like triple aggro lineups are popular, which I think is gonna be tough because like pirates, first of all, isn't that much of an aggro deck. It's aggressive, but like plays out more like
The
a
Tri-Beam
mid range
deck.
deck. It's like a Tri-Beam deck. It's slow burn. And what else are you gonna put in that lineup? Like if you're gonna go triple aggro, like yeah, you can get things with the same matchup tables as pirates if you want to, but they're not gonna be like incredibly aggressive.
You just don't need to go triple aggro anymore with this Pirates
You
build.
just don't. No, it's just such a good deck.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do think PNZ gains points in like a tournament setting, absolutely. But yeah, if you're gonna play that one, you need to be willing to put in some serious time.
There is. So what do you think? What do you make of all these like? There's so many like a deck will pop up, do really
Mhm.
well because people don't know what the hell's going on with it, and then like once
Timer
people have figured it out, push it back
Yeah.
down. I was just looking at the ladder. Check this out. So this is the highest win rate decks on the
Let me guess.
last 3 days,
Let me
but
guess.
it like okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Last 3
Right, yeah.
days. Is this in Masters?
I believe it's mostly Masters. Yeah.
Okay, I haven't checked it.
But
in
here.
2
So
days.
most of them have 25 matches, 28 matches, 25 matches, 26
Oh.
matches, 41, 22, 23, 28. So what I was getting at, okay, well, guess. Go ahead, guess. Actually, you know what? You would know this one deck. The top deck is a known deck.
Plunder.
No.
Damn it.
It is
What is it?
Timelines. Trundle,
Okay, no.
Vi, Victor Timelines. This version only has 25 matches, but it's a 68 win percentage.
You got to go
And then
to
it
like the
goes-
whole archetype. Come on, man. But it is. I
Yeah,
do think
this-
timelines.
okay,
is
but
really
hold
high
on.
right now.
Okay, so hold on. So then it goes Fizz Nami, again, 28 matches, 68% win rate. And then it goes Draven Rumble, 25 matches, 64% win rate. And then it goes Karma Lux. This one has 178 matches, 62% win rate. And then we have Trundle Vigar, which I didn't even know was a thing that people were still trying to make happen. 26 matches, 61% win rate. And then we have Akshan Kindred Nasus. I've never actually even heard of this.
Oh yeah,
It
you
plays-
use it's Kindred Nasus, but you use Akshan because with the equipment you can like turbo out the landmark with blood letters.
Why does it let you? Just because your thing dies and you keep playing it
It's-
out?
Yeah,
Oh, it's one mana.
One mana target a unit, right? Every single turn.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's again on a 60% win rate. Then we have Fizz Ribbon, 60%, again, 23 matches. Yumi Zoe, 60% win rate, 28 matches. Then Caitlyn Trundle Vi, which is the typical timeline,
Yeah.
is still 60% with 320
Mhm.
matches. So like, and it just kind of keeps going like that. There's just a bunch of stuff out here,
That
like
will always be the
Katarina.
case.
Yeah,
There's
especially
always, random stuff.
But it wasn't. No, it's not always like that though. Especially like like last season and the season before, like when Kaiza was everywhere,
It's
Kaiza
just
Pirates.
blasted everything out of the water.
Yeah. So, but the top decks though, kind of what I'm seeing though is like let's keep scrolling until I get something that's like one of the like really most
Timelines.
played. So like, so Plunder does have 575 matches and a 56% win rate, but that's kind of newer. Yeah, Timelines Has like 800 matches, like around 55%. Um,
Timelines recently
but
shot up really hard because Heimer Nora is like one of the most played decks in the game right now. I think it is the most played deck.
mhm.
And Timelines just destroys that deck. Because it's like, damn, man, those are really cute Vile Feasts.
Got some
Here's
nice
an 8/8 Overwall.
pokey
Here's
sticks
another one.
there.
Yeah. Oh, Buried in Ice.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yeah.
Yeah,
Just kind of like
but
blast them.
what I was gonna get at though is that most of the like what we would consider top decks all kind of have like around a 55% win rate. So I'm looking at
That's pretty
Nami Twisted
high.
Fate, Misfortune Twisted Fate, Ezreal Kennen, Scouts, all have a 55% win rate and all have like between 500 and 2,000 matches played in the last 3
Over the
days.
last 3 days, yeah.
So like,
That's
yeah,
pretty
this
standard.
meta's very like it's pretty flat though, hey? And like
Yeah,
you can see everyone's
play a lot.
iterating, trying new stuff, and it kind of like
Mhm.
something comes out, it seems hot, and then it kind of gets brought back down to reality a little bit.
Yep, or adapted, right? Like Ionia Twisted Fate, Ionia Nami was like a breakout deck this season. Right, there is
Yeah.
like new stuff. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the decks are good enough right now, and that's really cool because a lot of times it's not the case when you're like, oh my god, I have to climb in Masters, so like I just have to play one of these two decks, or I have to play Pirates or Kaisa. This sucks. I don't want to do this. Another thing that I've been pointing out to everybody is like nobody's playing Ezreal Kennen.
Yeah.
Nobody.
Let's take a quick peek. What are
Or the
let's see,
play
play
rates,
rate
yeah.
last 3 days?
It's also its play rate is like inflated compared to other decks because its list is so tuned that people aren't playing different versions. So it's just like that's all the Ezreal Kennen players is like this. Sometimes you see it spread out, right? Like Timelines will have like 2 or 3 different ones, like a different champion spread. But yeah, Ezreal Kennen, it's like I don't know, it was like the 6th or 7th most played deck before.
Oh wait, hold on. Yeah, so it's number 6. It's number 6 in the last 3 days. For being what maybe the best deck in the format, that is quite low. Where do you rank it? Do you think it's the best deck in the format still, or
No, I don't.
yeah?
I mean, like Pirates are really good into it. Not like really, really good, but like good enough. I think like some of the Nami decks beat it up, or at least like have a lot of game into it, right? I think both the big Nami decks do, the Shadow Isles one and Ionia, in my opinion.
Yeah, I was surprised by that. I thought Ezreal Kennen would have the edge there, because it feels the game always feels really good, and then you just like end up losing. Like it's
die.
like this. Yeah. You just die. Yeah, it's weird.
The Ionia one, I think, actually is better into Ezreal Kennen, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't know why.
Well, trying to kill their stuff is not what you want to be doing.
That is true. I just flip Twisted Fate every time. I'm just like, what are you gonna do about it?
That's also
bounce him. Oh.
What about going into like a tournament though? Is Ezreal Kennen shooting up your list of decks to play?
Yeah. I also think it's like that's ban bait. Like nobody wants to play against Ezreal Kennen right now, unless they bring like a lineup that's like, oh, my lineup wants to play against Ezreal Kennen, and then it's like what, Pirates and Scouts.
I'm sure there's some stuff. Let's see if we just go over to the handy meta stats page at MajiinBae.
Targon's Peak, Scouts, Annie Jin, Poppy Tarek, Lulu Poppy, Heimer Nora. That is one that's
Plunder. Maybe
Plunder. Yeah, I expect Plunder to like make its presence known this seasonal. It's a good deck.
I've played quite a bit of Plunder. I had some success with it. It struggles into Ionia Nami.
Okay.
That's not a good matchup. I'm playing the version without ice shards currently, though. I don't know if that changes anything. I don't know why I would particularly. But yeah, you're just a little bit slow and clunky. It's hard to get underneath them, hard to finish them.
Yeah.
But yeah, it feels like just another deck. It's good. It's definitely good if you like playing that. If you like playing it, which I do, you stomp on some stuff. But yeah, just another 55%er that's like good. I think this season's gonna be interesting. I mean, we still have the patch, right?
I'm honestly more interested right now, surprise, surprise, in the ladder climb. which right now is like booming.
What do you mean?
People are shooting up in LP.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, like I have 400 and I'm ranked 20.
Why do you think this is?
There's an edge to be had. The meta is very diverse. So if you can like catch a read on the meta for like a day, you can gain like a lot of LP. If you can just kind of like, oh, everyone's playing Heimer Nora, I'm gonna play concurrent timelines or something like that, right? Like if you can just kind of get them, there's like a lot of LP to be gained. And I think right now, if you're like really good and you have a good deck, you can just sit there at like a 65+% win rate. Not like a lot higher. This isn't Ari Kennen meta. But like the good players who are able to find what's good right now will definitely climb. I'm like not. I'm just like at 400. I've been going between like 385 and like 415 for like 2 days.
Do you remember what were the seasons when we didn't even get to like 700 people on Masters? Like there was a few of them, right? Where like we didn't. I think it was the Kaiser meta because no one was playing. No one wanted to play. It was like I think when it got Kaiser finally got nerfed, there was like 350 or 390 or something ridiculous. We just got over 700, I think, in the Masters before seasonals. Which, if you don't know, 700, the top 700 qualify for seasonals from the Masters leaderboard. There are currently 1,300 people in Masters, and we still have 2 weeks before the cutoff.
Yeah.
So you can see like a pretty big difference there. And so I think the very open meta where you can play just a lot of things and people are trying out all kinds of stuff, combined with the fact that it's now very easy or a lot easier to get to Masters because it's you don't lose as much LP when you're climbing up. And now thus there's more people at Masters, means that you're going to have, these players that are trying out different decks, people that are quite like, maybe it's their first time in Masters or less experience. And you're going to have people that are one-tricking, that are absolute just monsters getting paired against them. And you're going to see a lot of that happening.
I think so as well. Yep, I agree with that. It's going to be interesting though to see. Should be a fun season.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to the patch. I'm really looking forward to the patch and the race. To
love balance match.
To seasonals. I'm a little jealous.
Yeah.
What?
I was gonna say because like it's patch and then it's like the cutoff's like a week later, and this is like the cutoff, the last season to like qualify for Worlds. So it's gonna be like patch. Everyone's trying to figure out what's good. Everyone's trying to jump on ladder, right? Like so that'll be really interesting.
And then we have our tournament on Saturday, which I'm a little jealous. I wish I was playing in because like I love some of that testing, but we'll have to glean what we can from watching other people's matches. But yeah, I'm really excited for the patch and for that speed right towards seasonals, and then not a few weeks later on to Worlds, which is really exciting as we get more information here. Okay, well, I think we're wrapping up here. We don't have too much of a long episode for you guys. Let's see. I guess we'll have one more episode before the patch.
Seasonals.
Yeah, before this week.
No,
before the patch. Episode. So we're gonna do a podcast later this week, and then there'll be a patch next week.
Oh, the patch is in
10 days.
The 28th?
28th.
Okay, yeah. Okay,
yeah. So maybe we should do something unique for this coming week's podcast, because we're kind of like, we're at the end of the tail end of the season here. So if you guys have any ideas, here's ideas of things we could do. We could do Q&A where all of our listeners and subscribers and everything submit some questions for us to answer on the podcast. We could bring on a guest, which we haven't done in a while. We were supposed to have Alan on a while ago. We just the schedule didn't work out. And I would really like to have him on before Worlds, to have the former world champion on. Which, by the way, he doesn't get invited, and I don't know if he's qualified.
You don't think he's qualified?
I don't know if he's qualified. I haven't been paying attention.
He grinds ladder sometimes.
Yeah.
I don't know if he has though.
But at any
Right.
rate, I feel like the champion should get invited. So, anyways, let us know in the comments, though. Do you want to see us do a Q&A? Do you want to see us bring a guest on? Do you have some other idea for, like, a special, unique thing we could do? Oh, it is also coming up on our 1-year anniversary for MasteringRuneterra.com. That's where we're having a $1,000 tournament on October 1st, which we could definitely do some sort of, like, nostalgic sort of stream of, like, just, like, the tale of Mastering Runeterra. Like, tell some, like, stories and, like, inside jokes and stuff. I intend to write a little bit of an article about it, which we can, like, bring up. But let us know in the comments. We'll do something cool and fun and special later on this week. Take care of yourselves. Lucky climbing. As always, keep a winning mindset. You cannot lose. Peace.